Have you ever been to Dar es Salaam, Tanzania? If not, I'm going to explain to you my three biggest takeaways after being there for 2 weeks. Hey, Jason here. If you've been watching the channel and you've been seeing me as I'm now settling in Zambia, I've been doing this nomad lifestyle for the last 9 years. I am on my third continent, fifth country, and been starting to share things about not only more about my travels, but what does it take to be able to do a nomadic life full time. And so let's go ahead and get into today's video. So, have you ever been to Dar es Salaam, Tanzania? If not, it's going to be probably a big culture shock for you. First off, the country language is Swahili. English is spoken some in the city, but outside of the city, it's little bits and pieces. It's not very much English there. And if you're someone who's been familiar with traveling to the continent of Africa, whether it's Western Africa, some parts of Central, especially the SADC region, you may have become very comfortable being able to speak English. So you cannot rely on English in Tanzania, even in Dar es Salaam, the big city. And so that was a really big culture shock for me. I was not expecting it. Yes, I knew Swahili was the language there, but because it was a tourist place, Dar es Salaam and Zanzibar are considered tourist areas. And for most tourist areas, the neutral language is usually English. That's just something, no matter where you really go around the world, English is kind of like whatever was decided, how the world was laid out as the neutral language when it comes to tourism. And so seeing that it was still a little hit and go, hit and miss there, that was really surprising. Like, I can tell you this story, like when I was getting some beans off the street, I was saying the word beans and they was like, huh? And I think the word is like mahari, something like that. I don't know exactly how to say it, but it took about 10 minutes and we were just uncovering every dish. And I finally saw a bean and I was like, that's what I'm looking for. And we just started laughing. The people are very nice, very friendly there, but the language barrier can be a problem. Now, the first thing that was really surprising for me, the language barrier wasn't even it. This is how crazy it was the conservatism of Dar es Salaam and Tanzania as a whole. Now, if you've been to South Africa, you're used to, it's more of a liberal country. It's really remind you of being back in the United States, to be honest with you, as far as how people dress, everything. Once you get to Tanzania, like I feel like once you pass that line of Zambia, it changes and it goes complete conservative. Now, here in Zambia, I consider this a very conservative country. You don't see too much provocative dressing. You still don't even see that many tattoos here. You're starting to see a little bit more and more, maybe one or two there, but you don't see full sleeves like me or that many neck tattoos. But once you get there, you don't see any provocative dresses. Like, I think maybe the shortest woman that I've seen in a dress was working at a restaurant at one of the malls, and it was just the skirt that she had on. But people on the street, I didn't see, even if they were wearing a dress or a skirt, it went usually to their knees. And it was interesting because, like I said, I consider Zambia to be a very conservative place. And even the way the women dress here will probably be more considered provocative there. And so that was really interesting. And it was like, just not even going that far of a distance. And to have such an extreme difference in the culture was really, really cool and really amazing. If you're someone that appreciates the difference in cultures and learning the difference and, really breaking down how do human beings live in different areas. And so do be prepared for that. Like if you're someone with tattoos like me, people are going to stare at you. I'm gonna be honest with you, it got to the point where it became a little uncomfortable for me because sometimes you just get tired of people staring. Just like, yes, I have tattoos, and even I forget, like, there's still this stigma on tattoos in certain parts of the world and in certain cultures, like, oh, he's a criminal, he's this, he's that. And when you look at history, the people who stole the most and who did the worst in this world, they were just average looking people. They didn't have tattoos. They didn't dress a very specific way. It was people that you're not going to pay attention to. And so like for me, it started getting annoying after a while. I'm gonna be honest with you. And so that's why this is number one for me, because it was just to an extreme level. Like it reminded me of when I first moved to South Korea when I was in the military. And it was like, you're the only black person walking around this area. You don't see any other black people. especially the farther you get away from the base and everyone's just staring at you. And so that part was a little bit uncomfortable, but it wasn't, I don't want to say like if this is a bad thing for the country. It's just, you can see there's a level of tourism that they're used to and a level of people that come that they're used to that, and someone like me who doesn't go and stay in just the touristic areas, I want to learn the culture, learn the vibe, see what the people really look like. So I was probably interacting and being in areas where the average person like me would not, the average person would not go. And so just be mindful of that if you go to Dar es Salaam. Second thing about Tanzania that will surprise you is the traffic, yo. The traffic is crazy. I don't think I've ever been in any country or city that had such intense driving like in Dar es Salaam. And if you didn't see my short or if you didn't see my reel on Instagram, check it out. I did some videotaping while I was in one of the tuk-tuks. So they have three modes of travel there. You can use regular taxi car, well, Uber car, Uber tuk-tuk, which is the three-wheel thing that you sit in, and a boda boda, which is a motorcycle. I don't do boda bodas. I just don't trust people driving motorcycles. It's just not my thing. If I'm not even comfortable with driving one myself, I don't want anyone else driving me. But the tuk-tuks are very easier to get around in because traffic is crazy there. It is the most insane traffic I've probably seen. It's a very congested city as far as moving around and modes of transportation. And it's a loud city too because everybody's blowing their horn. So be prepared for that. But with the traffic, like there's not really traffic laws. So when I got there and I had asked my Uber driver, I was like, do the traffic lights not mean anything? Because you see the lights in there, they even count down for you, which was really good. But people were just going. And he was like, yeah, there's not any police here. So we just do what we do and we just go. And I was like, how does that work? He was like, we just drive that way. So I couldn't even imagine driving in Dar es Salaam or Tanzania just because of that. It was like, you see, you have the red light and boda bodas, motorcycles, tuk-tuks, cars, everybody's just going. And it was like, how do you know the right of way? It was even my first day in the tuk-tuk. I went to the market and we actually got in an accident. He hit another tuk-tuk and it was the craziest thing. I thought it was going to become an issue. He just grabbed a piece of metal that fell off his tuk-tuk, threw it in the next to him in the tuk-tuk, and he just drove off and the other guy drove off. And I'm like, I hope I didn't witness something I wasn't supposed to witness because even if you come talk to me in Swahili, I can't help you. And so the driving there is insane. Also, they drive on the sidewalk. So like the pedestrian doesn't have any right of way. Like you can't walk in the street. You can't walk on the sidewalk. I don't really know where you're supposed to really walk. So this was the one thing about Tanzania, Dar es Salaam, that really baffled me because I didn't feel safe in the vehicles. I didn't feel safe walking. And you're going to probably have this a lot when you go to other countries. Moving around is going to usually be the most dangerous thing you have if you're someone who live a lifestyle like me where I'm not out in the clubs. I don't do drugs. I'm not a drinker. So I live a very normal, simple life. Most people call it boring probably, but I love it. And so walking around, you have to worry about a boda boda or a tuk-tuk driving on the sidewalk. So you got to be mindful. So like I never was able to just be comfortable walking until I went to the beach and walked the beach for exercise. And like I wouldn't recommend wearing any type of headphones or being distracted too much while you're walking around Dar es Salaam because you just don't know. You might get in an accident or get hit because you don't hear them blowing the horn at you. So please be mindful of that. And now the third thing, now this one, it scared me when I first got there and experienced it. When you're going into the malls there or any of the shopping buildings outside of the marketplace, like just regular shopping malls and things like that, you have to go through a checkpoint. And what I mean by that is you're going in, you have to put like if you got a bag or anything like that, you put that down, you put your cell phone down, and you go through like a metal detector. And they have like an x-ray machine, they scan in the bags and things. And it really scared me because I was just like, what's going on here? Like, is this a dangerous city I'm in? Like, I didn't see anything about danger on the internet. I never heard anyone saying it's dangerous. So like for me, my radar started going off. It's like, okay, what am I not seeing here? Because one of my biggest things is about safety. And like I tell anybody, I'm not willing to be in any more countries or cities that are not safe. Like safety is something that is very important to me. I just don't want to be caught up in none of the dumbness. Like especially if you're from the United States or you see the videos of the United States with shootings everywhere. Like, I don't have time for that stuff, man. I went to the military. I went to war. I'm just wanting to live my life. I'm not here to cause harm to anybody else. And so I don't want to be in a place where harm can indirectly be caused to me. And so when I saw that, it was scary. And then when I went to the mall, I saw them doing with the little, if you're in the military, you'll be used to this because you've done it at checkpoints where you're looking under the cars to see if there's things underneath there. And then I was just like, okay, where am I now? I'm like, I never researched Tanzania having issues like this. Maybe it did in the past. But when I was talking to a few of the security people like that, eventually just like, no, it's just the security standards, just the way the country is. And everyone's telling me like, no, this is a very safe city, very safe country. And then as I just kept going around, meeting more people and talking a little bit more, I didn't feel threatened. Let me just say that. I still didn't, I felt a little uncomfortable doing the checkpoints, but I didn't feel threatened or anything. And so I think it's one of those things where as more and more I go to the country and visit and see how things are and get used to the culture, plus be able to speak Swahili, I think it'll help me understand the culture better and why that level of security is there. It may have been from something that's a long time ago. And if you're from Tanzania, please let us know in the comments, like, why is it the heightened forms of security there? Is it just the way the country's always been? Is it just a cultural, traditional thing? I don't really know. And I couldn't, the short time that I was there, I didn't get to fully understand that. And so just be mindful if you do go there and it's your first time. Yes, there's checkpoints, there's things like this, but I didn't feel any sense of danger there. I'm gonna be honest with you. The most dangerous thing that I felt there was just moving around, whether it's through transportation or walking around. And it's just because the level of driving and the lack of traffic rules or the lack of following traffic rules is just insane. It was very intense. So like that was the only thing that I really didn't feel comfortable with. But I will say this, I do like that the country chose Swahili as the official language. And from what I was told by it, it helped unify all the different tribes there. I believe I was told there was 130 different tribes in Tanzania. But you can't tell a difference because everybody's speaking the same language. And so that was a really good thing and a cool thing to see is that everyone could speak with everyone, no matter what region of the country they're coming from. And so that was really cool. And it really showed me like maybe if I go there and stay maybe 2-3 months at a time, that I might be able to start picking up Swahili there very, very fast. And so something that I'm thinking about. Overall, I will say Dar es Salaam is a really cool city. It's a very warm climate, hot climate. If you've ever been to Panama in Central America, the climate is pretty much the same as there. The beaches are beautiful. I'm going to be putting out videos that I have on the action camera from the beach. I think I have some footage I'm going to be putting up footage from the train also. And I'm going to be sharing videos in the future. They're going to be coming out of how to actually get there. So it turns out if you watch these old videos, even if they're 4 to 7 months ago, and they rode the train and telling you how to get there, things have drastically changed. So I'm going to break that down. I'm going to break down the pricing for you so you know exactly how to do it, where you need to go, because it was a headache trying to figure out where to go. Luckily, I found someone here who was on the train with me. His name's Mr. Jeremiah. Great, great Zambian brother. He helped me out tremendously. Also, if you're from the United States, before you go to Dar es Salaam, you need to pay for a visa. Just go ahead and get the e-visa. I'm going to explain to you my whole process of what happened with that during the immigration. That was a headache. I was given misinformation and read misinformation on that. And so just to make these things simpler for you, I'm going to be sharing those over the next couple of days. So just be looking forward to that. Also, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And I know I got a few emails from a few people asking about retirement visas in Zambia. I've responded to as many of the emails I've seen. Some of them I shared my WhatsApp with you. So if you do not have WhatsApp and you're in the United States, please download WhatsApp. That is the means to actually communicate with me, especially when you need more in detail questions to ask me, because it's just going to be a lot easier just to send voice notes or just do a video call that way. So just make sure you do that. And then just remember this, I'm Jason, and success is simple once you know how.